Welcome back to our 2-Minute Tuesdays with Trish and Pastor Dave.
2-minute, two.
Today we're going to talk about a pretty bold topic for our church.
Okay.
All right, so let's talk about sex.
Okay, I want to hear the question first before I agree to this.
More specifically...
You may never see this video. It depends on what she says next.
More specifically, how does the church feel about premarital sex?
Okay. That's still a difficult topic, simply not because of the subject, but because the church has gotten it wrong. Okay, so start your clock and let's talk about how. All right, I'm going to shock you, cover your ears, Grandma, but the Bible does not actually prohibit premarital sex. The Bible talks about sexuality only intermittently. When it does, there's a variety of circumstances that surround it. Not all of those are nuclear family. In fact, few of them are. There's everything from no marriage to 100 people and everything in between. And some sexual incidents in the Bible are abusive and awful, okay? So the Bible is not a great guidebook to construct that kind of rule out of. That said, we've tried to, because we talk about sexuality at the confluence of three really icky streams. First of all, theologically, the Bible does talk a lot about compassion and love, but that's hard for us, so instead we like to detour around that and pick out little verses and rules that we think we can build our life on and say, those rules are the thing, forget about the other, because that's easy for us. Right. Second of all, we love stuff that appears to advantage the culture and perpetuate what we think we want the Bible to say, which looks just like the tradition and the way we do things. And third, Americans at least have a very unhealthy relationship with sex, an obsession, love-hate thing that's just gross and weird. And all three of those come together in a sticky swamp of awfulness where we've said, okay, it just means this, let's teach everybody that, and anybody who doesn't conform is out. This is bad, okay? Instead, I think we need to go back to the basic roots of the scripture, to have compassion for one's neighbor, to love them as you love yourself. This is inherent in how we judge sexual relationships, but also how we conduct sexual relationships. We're in a terrible position where the church historically has said, if it happens in marriage, it's good, and if it doesn't, it's bad, even though clearly abuse happens in marriage all the time. And we have no tools to talk about that or to protect people or give them refuge for that because of the sexuality construct that we've made. Also, a lot of wonderful things happen sexually outside of marriage. Some of us came from exactly that. So how are you going to say this is not God's intent for sure? We need to deconstruct, raise the ground there, construct something new that talks about what really is in line with scriptural principles, which is that compassion and love. We need to talk about things like consent, mutual fulfillment, caring for a person, not having sexual relationships in a way that empties each other out or uses each other, but instead creates something more than there was. When we do that, then I think we're in a position to talk about sexuality, premarital or otherwise. Until we do that, no answer we give is going to be good.
For sure. Well, if you also have your own bold questions, send them in to myvoicetochurch.org, and we will see you next week with our new question.